In this video, I'll show you around my son's playroom, share some simple solutions for how I keep it organized and tidy, and show you how to set up your kids' playroom to encourage independent play. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Holly and my channel is all about finding joy and creativity at home. I'm a stay-at-home mom with a 2-year-old son, and today we're talking all about the playroom. So I'm standing in the doorway right now, and what I thought I would do is just kind of take you around on a little playroom tour and share some tips and reasons why I have it set up the way that I do, kind of as we go. Okay, so first up, I wanted to show you his toy shelf. So this is kind of the main area where I keep toys out for him. Here's kind of what it looks like from further back. So this is just a simple shelf that we already had from IKEA. And we set up our toys kind of using the Montessori approach, although not perfectly. I get most of the parenting philosophies that I use from Montessori, as well as a book that I read, I think it was before I was even pregnant, called Simplicity Parenting. I will link to that below if you'd like to check it out. But basically, I want to always encourage independent play. And so by keeping this shelf really kind of minimal and not having a ton of toys out, it encourages him to dive deeper into playing with those toys. I know that I've experienced this, and I'm sure you guys have too. When they have a ton of toys out, like after Charlie's birthday, he had gotten so many toys and this room just got so messy. And you can literally watch them, toddlers, they will kind of start looking at one toy, maybe like dump out a basket of stuff, and they'll look at it for like a second and then they're on to the next thing. So toddlers, from what I have read, really require a lot of order and simplicity and tidiness, and in order to go to that creative, imaginative state of their mind. And that's what we really want, is for them to be able to get into that deep play type of state, and also to help with their attention span. That's why you'll see that there aren't very many toys out. And if you're wondering, like, how do you do that? How do you like have so few toys? Where are they all? I'll get into that as we go in this video. So let me get back to the shelf. I try to keep out a variety of different types of toys. So we have some toys that are good for fine motor development, meaning like, you know, learning to use their pincher fingers and things like that, like fine motor skills. And then in other areas of the room, I have more gross motor skill activities. I always have some type of puzzles out. This is like a matching game. My son is obsessed with vehicles, so we always have vehicles out, and I don't keep them all out, but I try to keep sort of one of each thing. And that's kind of a good rule of thumb, is like if they have a whole bunch of something, like in his case it's vehicles, you know, we have one tractor, school bus, mail truck. He doesn't just have, you know, 25 tractors out. There's kind of one of each thing. So a lot of you ask where I get his toys. And that's like a common question that I get in the DMs on Instagram. Most of the toys that people are asking about, and most of the toys that we use on this shelf, are from Lovevery, which is a subscription box. Honestly, my husband and I were just talking about this the other day. Like, you could just get that subscription box from, like, if it's your first kid, you're starting from scratch, no toys. I really feel like you could just get that from birth, and if that was the only toys they had, they would still have a lot to play with. We started subscribing to Lovevery when my son was 15 months old. Before that, I didn't know about them, and I wanted to have very like Montessori toys that were good for his development at his unique stage, because they change so fast. And I was literally on Google, like 13-month-old Montessori toys, you know, always trying to kind of figure out like what would be engaging to him right now. And Lovevery was like a no-brainer to me, because it was like, it took all of that guesswork out for me, and they just like tell you, okay, this toy is great for your kid at this age for this reason, and this is what's going on in their brain right now. So I love that. It's funny, they reached out to me recently and they were like, hey, we'd like to send you a box to try, to talk, you know, to your subscribers about. And I was like, yeah, I've been a subscriber already for like a year now, so I don't need to try it. I already love it. But they did make me an affiliate, so if you guys would like to try out Lovevery, I'll put a link below. Another place where I get toys is the brand Melissa and Doug. This cutting fruit is a Melissa and Doug toy. If you're looking for where to get the little like containers to store everything, go thrifting, like go to yard sales. I get so many baskets. I get them from Goodwill, yard sales. You can get baskets for like 50 cents. So basically whenever I see a good quality basket, I get it. So let's get back to how this is organized. When you're setting up toys, and kind of displaying them in the shelf, you want to have it so that the kid sees that there's something that needs to be done. So rather than storing this toy with all of the little pieces already in it, that might seem kind of like neater to us as adults, but there's nothing left for them to do. So there's nothing kind of inviting them to play. So keep like the pieces in a separate container and then the toy itself in a separate container. In this case, I have the animals in one container and then the cards in another. And the idea with this game is they set it all out on the floor and then they put the line on top of the line. It's like a matching game. So like if you have a puzzle out, have the puzzle board on one side, the pieces on the other. That just encourages them like, oh, something needs to be done here. So that is his toy shelf. Like I said, I rotate it out about once a week, sometimes more, sometimes less. I just kind of watch him and see what he's playing with and not playing with. And if there's something that seems like it's no longer interesting to him, I'll change it out. Over here, we have his shopping cart. This is one of his most played with toys. This is a playmat that is like a farm, and he loves to put his tractors on it and his animals and things like that, and just, I mean, so much imaginative play comes from this. And then right here, again, farming. He loves farming stuff. So we have this, this is such a good quality wooden barn. This is like, I feel like this will last for so long, like multiple kids. And then over here I keep some more farm stuff, like a truck, like fencing stuff, hay bales, and then some farm animals. So I try to kind of group things together based on where like he's gonna be looking for them. This is kind of the more like learning side of the room, quiet side of the room, I guess. I've got his books over here. Something that the Simplicity Parenting book taught me was to only have as many books out as will fit on the shelf. And I know this seems like hardly any books. Again, I rotate these out and I keep different books in different rooms of the house and things like that. Definitely as a good rule, just have less things out than you think you need. So that's his little bookshelf area. This is his desk. You can see he's gotten some markers and stuff on it, but that's okay. And this is where he usually sits to play with Play-Doh and do kind of like more art stuff, things like that. And then over here, we don't use this a lot yet. I think we'll probably use it more in the future. This is the chalkboard side. The other side is a marker board. And I have been putting his, I hesitate to even call it this, but homeschooling type stuff. So he's 2. I mean, we're not really like homeschooling. And I'll get into all of this in a future video, kind of like my approach to this. But I wanted to kind of start dipping my toe into the world of homeschooling. We do plan on homeschooling him. So I just thought like I would just kind of dip my toe in. I'm just following his lead of things that he seems to be interested in. For whatever reason, he got really interested in sloths. And so I decided, well, you know, we'll do a little miniature like rainforest unit and learn about sloths and what they eat and where they live and what other animals live near them and things like that. So it's very simple. And literally all I did was I picked up this set of little rainforest figurines on Amazon, and then I got a couple of books on sloths at the library. And we just are learning about like a little subject at a time. This is kind of what I envision using a lot when we do start homeschooling more and more over time. And then over here I have right now a basketball hoop. This isn't always here. Sometimes I'll bring like his slide in here or whatever. This is kind of the more gross motor skill type thing that we have in here right now. And then I have a basket. This is another thrifted basket with a bunch of different balls in there. And then here is his little, I don't know, homemaking section. He has his kitchen and his cleaning supplies. This has been such a good purchase. So the last thing I wanted to show you is the toy rotation closet. And this is really like the key to the whole thing working. So let's take a look inside. By the way, I just got these on Amazon. if you have bifold doors like this, they're awesome because they kind of keep them locked and keep your kids from pinching their fingers. I'll link to those below too. So, dun, da, 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 this is the closet. And this is really the key to having, I think, having a tidy and kind of like minimal playroom is having a place to store all the toys. Now, granted, you don't need to have this many toys. We happen to have the space for it, so we keep them, but you could always like declutter further than I have. So I got this, really, this is a great shelf, and actually I could get another one of these, fit another one of these in here too, which I may do eventually, but let's just start at the top. So the top is kind of like not super organized. We've got a couple of like extra kind of sporty stuff, and these are stuffed animals that he's scared of, so we'll keep them up there until he is not scared of them. He has a set of like bowling pins. These are on-the-go toys, so these are like things that are great for kind of keeping him quiet at like church or restaurants, things like that. These are some extra trays that I have for like when I'm setting up his toy shelf. When I rotate things out, it's just nice to have these little containers. Up here, I keep the Lovevery guides. These are the things that come in the boxes. I'm keeping these for future children because it has like the age, and then these are just so helpful. Like they tell developmentally what's going on with your kid. So they also have like things like at 25, 26, 27 months, your child may do all of these things. And then they have the section on the toys themselves and like why each individual toy will engage your child. So there's just a lot of like developmental information in here, which I find really useful and interesting. And then also in the back, they give you ideas of like other activities that you can do with your kids, just made out of stuff that you may already have on hand. So these guides are awesome. And normally when I get a box in the mail, like I just kind of trash everything, like all the little papers and stuff, but I hold on to these guides, like I said, for future kids. So I keep those up there. And then he's got his little smock for when we're painting, but let's be honest, I don't paint. I don't have him paint very much. It's too messy for me. The mess is not worth the fun. Like it's not incredibly fun for him at this age, and it's incredibly messy. So we don't use that much, but maybe in the future. Okay, so then this is my shelf of toys to rotate out. And I just keep like all the extra stuff. So this is a box of dinosaurs. Here's some more extra animals. These are just a bunch of, you know, just various toys. A coin box. These are like little felt stars that he can practice his fine motor pinching with that. This is a lacing toy. And then this shelf is puzzles. Again, you can see they're almost all from Lovevery. Just really good quality puzzles, and I just switched these out. Okay, then the next shelf down is arts and crafts stuff. So I have a box of coloring, a box of painting, which I don't use very rarely if I'm in a very like carefree mood. And then Play-Doh, sensory, so this kind of changes, but right now there's rice in there, and then play sand. He loves playing with these. And then this is a sticker box with his stickers in it. This is an ice cube tray that I'll just kind of use, like if we're doing sensory stuff, I'll hand that to him and let him kind of pour things into it or whatever. And then down here, he has more vehicles, of course, like kind of the larger vehicles. This is another barn that I will sometimes put in the living room because he loves barns, and you know, he's got the big one in here, but so I'll kind of like switch that out sometimes. Over here, this is extra stuffed animals and play scarves. These scarves are really great for imaginative play. They can be like superhero capes, or you know, they can make a fort with them or whatever. So those are really great. This is a play tunnel. And then over here, I just have more toys. So these are both toys, and then these are books. And, you know, like I said, I could declutter that down even further, and I may have to eventually. But since we have the storage space, I just utilize that. This, a lot of you guys are asking about on Instagram because I showed him playing with it. He loves this. Like, it's amazing. I mean, he loves playing in the sink, he loves playing with water, and this is just so great because you're not just like having all this water run in your sink. It's just reusing the same water over and over. And then he's got this little drying rack. Very, very cute. That's from Lovevery too. And yeah, so that pretty much is the storage closet. And you know, the more organized you can keep this, the better. Like I used to just kind of keep all this stuff in big boxes like that. And it was hard for me to do rotations because it was just too messy. You know, the puzzle pieces would get everywhere. So having a shelf like this has really helped, and like having all the boxes labeled and things like that helps me a lot. I know that it's hard like to be kind of minimal with your toys because we just live in a culture where there's just so much stuff, and like holidays happen and things like that, and you know, they get so many nice gifts from people. And I think a lot of times people ask me like, well, how do you, because I'll show a picture of our playroom and they'll be like, well, what do you do like with all the gifts and the toys that you get, you know, for him? And that's where this closet comes in handy, because we're not having to get rid of stuff and donate stuff all the time. I can just kind of store it away. With that being said, I do declutter on a regular basis. Toys that are broken, toys that are electronic, and just kind of mindless. I don't know how else to say it, but toys where it's like, they just make a noise or a light flashes and then you hit it, or like something like that that isn't really like engaging them. It doesn't really encourage independent play. It doesn't encourage curiosity and creativity. Toys like that I will donate. But as a general rule, we try to have simple, passive toys that he has to do something. He has to manipulate the toy, versus active toys, which are kind of doing all the work for him. He does, I think, have a pretty good attention span for his age, and he does play by himself pretty well. Not all the time, of course, but these little tips and tricks that I've shared in this video are very, very helpful in accomplishing that. And my question for you guys in the comments is, what has been your child's most used toy? I'm curious. I think that oftentimes it is the most simple toy that kids are drawn to, and I just find it interesting. So let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.